my daughter wrote from college and coming out that she was a lesbian. She actually wrote the letter to my ex-wife and myself. I was more upset that she wrote it in the form of a letter, and she used a lot of slang terminology for being gay that really upset me. Rather than telling me in person, I was not totally surprised because by that time most of her friends at college were gay. And so, but that was upsetting, and you know, I expressed my love for her, but I was very concerned about her safety. She also, when I finally talked to her, she wanted for me to tell my parents that she was lesbian. And that was very difficult for me to do because I didn't know what their reaction would be. And they at the time, they only lived about 90 miles from here in Owensboro. But it actually took me 2 or 3, probably more like 3 or 4 trips to go down and actually confront them and talk to them about it. They were not totally surprised, though my father's reaction was, it's only a college thing. And but they both loved their granddaughter and were very supportive of her. Though my ex-wife and I, we actually separated in 1994, or 1995, excuse me. Vicki had asked that we attend a parents' weekend at her college, and that the gay organization on campus was going to have a panel discussion for parents who recently learned that their children were gay. The panel consisted of 2 young lesbians and 2 young gay men, and one of the gay men was actually one of the good friends of my daughter, and who we already knew. And they basically told their coming out story and how their families had supported them in this process. They also encouraged the parents to ask any questions. At that time, my ex-wife started asking primarily the young lesbian students, you know, how they knew and when they knew, and asked the question several times. And I have to admit, at that time, I was starting to get worried that she sounded like she was getting ready to come out, and was somewhat looking for a table to crawl under. After that meeting and on our drive back to Frankfort, Kentucky, I confronted my ex-wife and I asked her if she was lesbian. Her reply to me was, "So what if I am?" And so, you know, that was basically her, I guess, coming out to me. And catch up here. I had heard my daughter earlier than we went to the parents' meeting had encouraged my ex-wife and I to attend a Pflag meeting, and that one was a small one that was held in Lexington, Kentucky. So I already knew a little bit about Pflag, and I got online, and I found out that the Pflag in Louisville actually had someone with their helpline that could address spouse and ex-spouse issues. So I called the helpline, and at that time you would leave a message and then they would return your call. And Rita was the one who called me back. She ran the helpline there for a number of years. And talked to her, and during that conversation, she let me know that She was the mother of a lesbian child and the wife of an ex-wife of a gay man. And I had told her that I really didn't have problems with my daughter coming out, and I thought I understood my ex-wife, but that I would like to come and talk to her. And she informed me that they were having a Pflag meeting. And before that meeting, an hour before the meeting, she would lead a discussion with spouses and ex-spouses of gays. And so I went to that meeting, and Rita did a very good job of not only feeling the pain that some of the spouses or ex-spouses had, but also trying to, explain to them or try to get them to understand why this may have happened, And most of the people were somewhat receptive, but to be honest, there were some spouses or ex-spouses that were very bitter. Like I say, I was relatively open and just wanted to understand a little bit more why this had happened. And we, like I say, met them an hour before the regular Pflag meeting so that they could leave before the actual Pflag meeting was to happen. And I actually decided to stay for that Pflag meeting and attend. And with one of the sessions that I was at, I actually did my coming out story. And I will be honest, there were actually some of the parents there, and some of them that were the mediators of the group that had a tough time believing my story. And I think it was not because that it didn't happen, but that I came so quick, it came out that my ex-wife had come out. I continue to go. My ex-wife and I in 95, or I guess it was 96, actually went ahead and got a divorce. It was not a bitter divorce. I'm not going to say that we're close friends or anything, but we do talk. In fact, we worked in the same building and stayed there for a number of years, so that we often saw each other. But we did separate. And I will say this, that I continue to go to the spouse meetings and everything. And after a while, Rita and I started to date. And I always like to tell people that I was dating my counselor. And we, after a while, we actually moved in together, and we're together for a number of years. And then I will say this, that the 28th of this month will be our second wedding anniversary. And I want to say about that wedding, it was mostly family and close friends, a few close friends, and the straights at that wedding were actually outnumbered by the gay members of the family and friends. During the wedding, Rita's ex-husband and her partner, or his partner, his partner, were at the wedding, and Rita actually has a picture with her that shows Rita standing between her ex-husband and myself. And her ex-husband actually came over, shook my hand, and told me, "You've got a good woman there." One of the ministers that was at weddings wife was there, and they also have a gay child. But the wife actually sat down and told us that they had never seen so much love and understanding with this union of straight and gays at a wedding in her life. It made us feel very good. It's been a wonderful 2 years, and I look forward to many more. And that's basically my story. There's one thing, a couple things that I kind of wanted to say briefly. Rita name with a lot of the gay community is Rita Joe Mama. And the reason she got this is that this was been before I knew her in the early days. But a lot of Tanya's friends, gay and lesbian friends, not all of them, parents supported them. And Rita, on the holidays, would have them over, and they all learned to love her, and she was there for them. In fact, Jeremy had a high school friend that was coming out lesbian, and the parents did. Straight son. Parents didn't understand, and he would go over and pick her up like they were going on a date and bring her home so she could talk with Rita.